Hi guys, welcome to the new lesson. In this lesson I want to talk about a vector and mathematical concepts inside our real material editor for beginning the material creation. Okay, let's go. For starting, go to the content folder, Unreal Material folder, and open the vector math folder inside your project. You can download the project from the description below, and let's start. Open the vector math 1 and let's talk about this boxes here. Okay, we have one result node, or we have one material node here. We can connect different nodes to the material node for specifying the surface specifications, and we don't want to do anything with this node here. We want to talk about these boxes and talking about the mathematicals. And the first concept is a vector. It's a very simple vector, probably you know that, but I want to talk about that for covering almost anything for every person that wants to work with the materials. And let's talk about that. I have opened the academo.org website, and I have a 3D vector planner here, and here I can draw some vectors with the numbers. As you can see, we have x, y, and z here, and with the x in 3 and y in -1 and z in 4, I have drawn this blue vector. And if I can, for example, if I change the value to 10 and click on draw, you can see we have a vector with more z value. You can see the z value is near 10, and you can see that inside the view. And I can use this representation for showing the addition of vectors, subtraction of vectors, and also a cross product of vectors. Okay, we'll talk about the addition and subtraction, and let's go inside Unreal again and talking about the vectors. Inside Unreal and Material Editor, we are defining the XYZ with red, green, and blue. As you can see, if I change the blue value to 1, it means I have a vector with the z1. Okay, we have the vector with z1. If I start previewing the node, you can see I have a blue sphere here, and I can change the value also for changing the vector direction and vector magnitude. If you want to debug a vector inside Unreal, you can use the debug tray float values. Right click and search for debug float tray values, and you can connect the node to the vector tray input. And let's start previewing node, and let's change it to the box. You can see we have 1, 0, 1 here, and this is equal to the value here. If you want to bring a vector tree constant inside Material Editor, holding the tray key and click, and as you can see, I can bring a vector tree node. Also, you can bring a vector 2 node by holding the 2 key and click, and a float constant value by holding the 1 key and click. It's very simple. Let's delete them out, and let's talk about adding vectors. Here you can see I have two vectors, a red vector and green vector. A vector and the red axis or x-axis, I have vector in the y-axis or green axis. I want to add the vectors together. I can simply search for add node and bring the node and connect the first vector to the first node and the second vector to the second node, and I can see the result here. Okay, very good. We have 1, 1, 0. If I want to see the representation of this vector inside the 3D space, I can use this website. For example, we had 0, 1, 0, 0 and 0, 1, 0, 0, sorry, 1, 0, 0. Let's change the values, and 0, I think 0, 1 and 0. Okay, let's draw, and you can see we have a flat, we have no z-axis, and if I see the resultant in the purple color, you can see this is the result value. You can see the result vector. Also, if I check the powers, power points slider, you can see the representation of addition of vector. You can see if you have v vector and u vector, the addition will be the blue vector. You can search the Google for the vector additions and see how they can be added together. And here I just want to show you how vectors can be added together. Here on the next node we have the subtraction. Oh, I forget that. Here you can use a float variable to add to the vector. Let's connect that to the B channel and we'll see the result. We have 3, 2, 2. The 2 is added to 1, 0 and 0. The 2 is added to every channel, each channel of this vector 3, and the result is 3, 2, 2. Okay, very good. Let's disconnect that. For disconnecting a node, holding the Alt key on your keyboard and click on the line to disconnect, and it is very simple. And here I have the subtracting vector. It's very similar to adding vector together. Like a very simple search for subtracting and bring that to the subtracting vectors. Very good, very nice. I want to skip that because it is very simple. And let's go to the vector multiplication. For multiplying vector together, you can bring the multiply node by searching multiply in the math section. And for example, let's bring that for example and multiply node. And let's connect the first one to first node and the second one to second input. And you can see we have the result, and we can see the result here 0.5 0.6, sorry. As you can see, we have different numbers here. The first number will be multiplied by first, second will be multiplied by second, and third will be multiplied by third number. Very easy. Let's do something with this concept here. I have bring the texture sample. For bringing the texture sample, you can easily holding the T key on your keyboard and click, and you can see I have brought this texture sample. I have used the diff-based blank-func diff-based texture sample from Unreal Engine content. Here you can search for that and bring that again. Go to the click on the sorry. Let's bring that. Click on the texture and click on the non-string and click on the view option. Tick the show engine content for showing the engine content and search for blend-func diff base and click on that, and we can the nodes like this. And let's delete the node and connect that to the first node, first input of the multiply node. I multiplied that by 5,000 for increasing the emitting power. Emitting is the emitting light. Emitting power is emitting light. Okay, let's connect that to the multiply node. After that, I connected that to another multiply node and multiplied that by a color. Let's see the result. And talking about the result, here you can see, oh wow, it's very much. Let's decrease that. Let's decrease the number to, for example, 1000, and okay, it's better. Let's decrease more. Okay, 500 is enough, I think. We have an emitting we have emissive material or emitting light material here, and we can use that for simulating the emission. Here we have a white color and black color. As you know, the black colors are 0 inside Unreal or inside our renderer, and the white areas are 1. And if I multiply the 1 value but by a color, the result will be the color, okay? And if I multiply black by a color, every number, the result will be 0. Because of that, we have black areas here, and we have the purple areas here, and I have multiplied that by 500 for increasing the power of color or increasing the emitting power. Very good. And the last one I want to talk about, that is a dot product, and that product is a very important concept inside Unreal for creating materials. What is the dot product? Let's see the representation of dot product. Here we have the formula of the dot product here. Let's zoom in on that. Okay, very good. We have the formula of dot product here. The dot product defined by magnitude of the first vector multiplied by magnitude of second vector multiplied by cosine angle between them. For example, if I have a vector with magnitude of 7, and if I have a vector by magnitude of 5, and if the angle between them be 90 degree, as you know, the cosine in 90 degree is 0, and cosine in 0 degree is 1, and the result will be 0. Okay, as you see here, if we have a two vector perpendicular, the result will be 0, and if we have two vectors parallel, the result will be maximum. Okay, let's see this short clip. As you can see, decreasing the angle, increasing the value, and increasing the angle, decreasing the value. Okay, very good. It is very important concept for creating different material, and we will use that inside material creation through this series. Okay, maybe you have a question: what is the magnitude of the vector? For calculating the magnitude of the vector, you can use this formula here. As you can see, the magnitude of 3D vector equals to a square root of x power of 2 plus y power of 2 plus z power of 2. If you want to calculate the magnitude of the vector, you can use this vector. Okay, we have another term in the vectors, and this is the normalized vector. Normalized vector is a vector with magnitude of 1. If you hear that if you hear about the normalizing or normalized vectors, this means the vector has magnitude of 1, some direction, and with the magnitude of 1. Let's search it out in the Google, and for example, normalized vector, and let's see that. As you can see in the Wolfram math board, the normalized vector of x is a vector in the same direction but with norm length 1. Okay, as you can see, it can be calculated by this formula, and the normalized vector, it has the same direction but magnitude of 1. Very good, very awesome. I would talk about the dot product usage in the next lesson, and thank you for watching. If you like my lessons, subscribe or support me in Patreon. Thank you. To the next lesson.